used to wear the names that others gave her, the ones that stuck like winter to the skin. Worthless, too much, not enough, forgotten. She wore them all until they felt like her. But there was one who saw her from a distance, who crossed the room and called her by a different name. And every label that the world had placed upon her fell off the moment he spoke what he knew. She is not what they called her in the darkness. She is not the sum of everything she's done. She is the one that God called chosen, holy, loved and known and covered by the sun. The name she carries is the one God gave her. The name she carries cannot be undone. The name she carries is written in the heavens. The name she carries is beloved of the Son. What have you been called that was never true? Worthless, difficult, too broken, unlovable. Those names were never from God, they were from the enemy, who knew what you carried and tried to make you forget it. God calls you beloved, chosen, holy, His. And the name He has written over your life cannot be erased by anyone, ever. She stopped rehearsing what the darkness told her. She started speaking what the Father said about her. And slowly, like the morning after winter, the woman God created started waking. She stood inside the mirror and she practiced looking at herself the way that God did. And what she found was not what shame had shown her, but what grace had always known was there. Beloved is the name above the broken. Chosen is the name above the lost. Holy is the name above the wounded. Redeemed is the name above the cost. And she who was called worthless by the darkness stands now in the light and hears a different sound. The voice of God declaring over all of it, you are mine and I have called you by your name. The name she carries is the one God gave her. The name she carries cannot be undone. The name she carries is written in the heavens. The name she carries is beloved of the Son. Forever belong. Forever belong. Forever belong. Forever belong. She is beloved. She spent years looking for something that was already in her hands. Approval from people who were not qualified to give it. value from voices that could not define it, worth from sources that could not measure it, until she discovered that God had already decided everything about her before anyone else got an opinion. She used to read the room before she spoke in it. She used to measure every word for its reception. She used to need the nod before she moved in any direction, and shrink herself to fit what she imagined they approved. She gave the gatekeeper the keys to her belonging, and let the ones who barely knew her write her value, until one day she read the words that God had spoken, and realized she had been begging for what she already owned. She does not need the table they refused her. She has already been seated by the King. She does not need the validation of the limited. She has the word of the unlimited over everything.
She stopped begging
for what God already gave her.
She stopped asking
for what He already said.
She stopped waiting
for permission from the people.
She stopped begging
and started walking in it. She is done performing for the ones who cannot see her. She is done explaining herself to the disqualified. She is done making herself smaller for the comfort of the limited, and done waiting for approval from the unqualified to give it, because the God who spoke the universe into existence has already spoken everything she needs to hear about herself. And what He says is louder than every other voice that has ever tried to tell her who she is. She does not need the table they refused her. She has already been seated by the King. She does not need the validation of the limited. She has the word of the unlimited over everything.
She stopped begging
for what God already gave her.
She stopped asking
for what He already said.
She stopped waiting
for permission from the people.
She stopped begging
and started walking in it. She takes back every hour spent on seeking the approval of the ones who were not qualified. She invests that time instead in knowing deeply the God whose opinion is the only one that lasts. Because the woman who has found her worth in Jesus does not go begging at the door of human voices. She walks into every room already knowing exactly who she is and who has called her name. Stop begging for something God already gave you. Stop waiting for permission from people who are not qualified to grant it. Your value was decided before creation by the only one qualified to decide it.
God said
you are chosen.
God said
you are loved.
God said
you are worthy.
Not because of what you do,
but because of what He did.
You are not a beggar at the table
of human approval. You are a daughter of the King. Walk in it.
She stopped begging
for what God already gave her.
She stopped asking
for what He already said.
She stopped waiting
for permission from the people.
She stopped begging
and started walking in it. She's walking in it now. Nobody tells you how tired the caring gets. How you can love someone completely and still be utterly depleted by the weight of their need. She is not complaining. She chose this. She would choose it again. But she is so tired, and God sees the tired. She has not slept a full night in a long season. She has learned to be awake at all the wrong hours. She has rearranged the whole of her existence around the needs of the one who needs her most. She has cancelled plans and dreams and conversations. She has learned the language of the medical and clinical. And somewhere in the caring, she has lost the thread of who she was before the caring started. But the God who sees the caregiver in the darkness, who counts the interrupted nights and the undone prayers, has not forgotten that the one who pours for others also needs to be poured into by someone. She pours from empty, and God fills her. She pours from empty, He sees her there. She pours from empty, Jesus pours back into her. She pours from empty, and He is enough. To the woman who is caring for someone who cannot care for themselves right now, your sacrifice is seen by the God who sat at the bedside of the dying, who wept with the grieving, who healed the sick with His own hands. He knows this road you are on. He has walked it. And He is not asking you to pour from your own strength. He is asking you to let Him pour into you while you pour into them. You cannot do this on your own, and you were never meant to. Let Him fill you while you pour. She has learned to pray in fragments, not in sentences. She has learned to offer God the little that she has. She has learned that He accepts the incomplete devotion of the one whose hands are always full of someone else. And what she thought was insufficient in the offering, He has multiplied the way He multiplied the loaves. And somehow in the middle of the empty pour, someone.
She pours from empty,
And God fills her.
she pours from empty,
He sees her there.
she pours from empty,
Jesus pours back into her.
she pours from empty,
And He is enough. She does not have to be superhuman for this calling. She does not have to do this without weeping. She is allowed to lay it at the altar, the exhaustion and the fear and the not knowing, and find that God, who carried everything that mattered, will carry her while she is carrying another, because the woman who pours out for the suffering is the woman God pours deepest into.
she pours from empty,
And God fills her.
she pours from empty,
He sees her there.
she pours from empty,
Jesus pours back into her.
she pours from empty,
And He is enough. He is always enough. He is always enough. There was a night she almost did not make it. The kind of night that has no floor beneath it. When everything she'd fought for felt like nothing, and staying felt as hard as any battle. She sat inside the dark and made a bargain. Just one more night, and then she'd make a decision. And in that night, the quietest thing happened. A presence filled the room that had no language. I know there was a night like that for you. Maybe more than one. A night when the fight felt like too much. When the morning felt like a lie you could not believe. God was in that room. He has been in every room like that. And He is the reason you are still here. And morning came the way it always comes, not with explanation, but with a light. And she discovered something in the darkness that she could not have found in any other night.
the night she almost quit,
God held her through it.
the night she almost quit,
He did not let go.
the night she almost quit,
Became a greatest witness.
the night she almost quit,
God would not quit on her. She woke to find the night had not destroyed her. That something in her chest was still on fire. That every reason she had given up on was still there waiting on the other side. And looking back, she saw the hand that held her. Through the night she thought it swallowed everything. The God who keeps the ones who almost juniper tree and asked the Lord to let the morning take him. And God sent not a sermon, but an angel with bread and water for the road ahead. He did not lecture him for almost quitting. He fed him for the journey still remaining. And God does the same for every woman who finds herself beneath her juniper tree. The night she almost quit, God held her through it. The night she almost quit, He did not let go. The night she almost quit became a greatest witness. The night she almost quit, God would not quit on her. He never quits on her. She wakes before the house has found its morning. She carries what the night left on her shoulders. She holds the ones who never ask her how she's doing, and pours herself until the cup is empty. She has learned to wear the face of someone steady, while everything inside is barely holding. The strongest woman in the room is always the one who cries alone when no one's looking. But God has seen every silent battle, every tear she swallowed to stay strong. Every night she held the world together when she had nothing left to hold on. She carried it all, and God saw every moment. She carried it all. He never looked away. She carried it all, but she was never alone. God was carrying her every single day. To the woman watching this, who has not been asked how she is doing in longer than she can remember, God sees you, not the version of you that holds everything together, the real you, the one who is exhausted, the one who is carrying more than anyone knows. He sees her, and He has never once looked away. She prays for everyone but herself in the morning. She gives the last of what she has to others. She fights for those who do not even notice the war she wages just to keep them covered. But there is one who sees behind the armor, who knows the weight of every hidden burden. And He who numbered every star above her has also counted every tear she's hidden, but God has seen every silent battle, every tear she swallowed to stay strong. Every night she held the world together when she had nothing left to hold on. She carried it all, and God saw every moment. She carried it all, He never looked away. She carried it all, but she was never alone. God was carrying her every single day. You do not have to carry this alone anymore. You do not have to be strong for one more morning. There are arms that were made to hold the holder. There is rest for the woman who kept going. Cast your burden on the one who never staggers. Let the carrier be carried for a moment. You have given everything to everyone around you. Now let God give everything to you. She carried it all, and God saw every moment. She carried it all, He never looked away. She carried it all, but she was never alone. God was carrying her every single day. He was always there. He was always there. After everything that tried to take her down, she stands. After every voice that said she would not make it, she stands. After every season that was meant to be her ending, after every wound she was not supposed to survive, after every night she almost did not see the morning, she stands. Not because she is strong enough on her own, not because the battle was not real, but because the God who holds the universe together has been holding her through every single hill. She stands in the name of Jesus. Stands when nothing makes sense. She stands covered by His glory. Stands, and she will not fall. The armor she wears was not bought, it was given by the one who fought before her and beside her. And every scar she carries tells a story of a God who showed up every time she needed. She has learned that standing is not the absence of shaking, it is shaking and refusing to stop standing. And the woman who has stood through what she has stood through is a testimony nobody can argue with. Not because she is strong enough on her own, not because the battle was not real, but because the God who holds the universe together has been holding her through every single hill. She stands in the name of Jesus. Stands when nothing makes sense. She stands covered by His glory. Stands She stands. You are still here. After everything, you are still standing. That is not luck. That is the hand of God. And He is not done holding you up. So stand. Not because you have the strength, but because He does.